Cooper Flagg really worth the hype? Bro, I seen a nigga say Cooper Flagg is another Christian Latineer, bro. The only reason I'm worried about Cooper Flagg is I want to see if he gonna go on my slips. Is Cooper Flagg gonna sell my parlay? I seen his first game. He shot like 5 for 20. I'm gonna give him grace. It was his first game, but he got clamped by Bronny, bro. His second game, he did have 31. I can't even fake it. He had 31. But we gotta see what he gonna do in the regular season when he go against them playoff demons like Giannis Antetokounmpo. Let's get into the video. Let's check out what Jimmy gotta say. I bet.
Of an all-time great talent. Not just elite or exceptional talent, but the kind of player you could say appears once in a generation.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, I don't see what people see in Cooper Flagg. I'm not even trying to sound like a hater. I genuinely don't see it, bro. He just looked like another hooper to me, bro. Like, he's semi-athletic. He pretty athletic, I ain't gonna lie. But he not like a Ant. You looked at Ant, you was like, yes, Ant's gonna be a demon. There's no way Ant not gonna be a demon. I don't see that with Cooper Flagg, bro. I feel like he flagging.
Usually the signs are there. National
flagging.
acclaim at an early age.
No pun intended, chat.
Becoming familiar with your name long before you even step foot on an NBA court. Throw in a few viral performances, jaw-dropping.
He was the number one. He was number one for damn near 7 years.
And you've got yourself a recipe for what can easily be assumed as the next great NBA superstar.
I doubt it, though. I genuinely doubt it. I don't see it.
The only problem is we are terrible at predicting truly generational talent. For every
I'm a
player
pro
that
at
gets
this shit,
slapped
though.
with the label of being generational, and
they don't do shit. Bro, fucking Zion was supposed to be the next LeBron. Where this nigga at? This nigga should be the next fucking Burger King mascot, my nigga. Like, lock in, Zion, bro. Like, bro, you've been in the league for 6-7 years, bro. I haven't seen you play more than 20 games, bro. My nigga. What are we doing, Zion?
and lives up to it, there's about 10 more who don't even come close. But
Let me turn on my headset. If it was a little echo, that's my fault. That's my fault, chat.
At 16 years old, went toe-to-toe with LeBron as a high schooler and was
I
projected
see that video. I gotta
first
see that.
overall in the NBA draft 3 years before he was even eligible for the draft. Cooper Flagg has faced some of the highest
Okay, I ain't know about this
of
lore
any
like that.
recent NBA prospect, and up to this point has exceeded all of them. But even after becoming one of the most obvious first overall picks in recent draft history, some fans, justifiably, still have their doubts. Opinions ranging from he could be the greatest player of an entire era, all the way to he's one of the most overrated prospects we've seen recently. After missing on numerous alleged generational prospects in recent years, it's clear why some fans are hesitant to give such a hefty label.
Bro, Zion was supposed to be him, bro. Motherfucking Ben Simmons was supposed to be him. Who else did he show?
And yet some remain certain that Cooper
Ben Simmons was supposed to be LeBron for real, bro.
What makes Cooper Flagg the transcendent talent some say he is? And is he really worth the hype? Or are some fans setting him up for the same exact fate other generational talents have suffered? To answer this question, we have to go back long before anyone even knew the name Cooper Flagg.
Okay, Jimmy? Nah, but I need an ad blocker game.
Today's video is sponsored by Seat.
I don't get paid for these ads, baby.
A news publication out of Maine wrote a piece about a basketball prodigy who was starting to gain attention not just around the state, but around the country, describing him as a talent they had never seen before. A 6'7", supremely gifted 14-year-old. Local coaches and scouts knew immediately they were onto something special and early, because this would be one of the first mentions of the name Cooper Flagg, a freshman who had yet to play a single game of high school ball, who many agreed they had never seen the likes of. Over the next 2 years, Cooper quickly became a national headliner, transferring to Montverde Academy and rising up the high school rankings. By the end of his sophomore season, it became clear that Cooper was, in fact, a talent unlike anything else in the country. The secret was out. Cooper Flagg may just be next up. A conversation that led to this. The first mention of Cooper Flagg not just as a great prospect, but as a generational prospect. This came
generational was crazy,
a successful
bro.
summer season where Flagg jumped up national rankings from a 5-star prospect to the consensus #1 player in the country in his class. Like many others before him, the towering propositions about his game and what he might become began.
Bro, what part of Cooper Flagg game stands out to y'all, bro? Like, it's nothing. I don't think he do nothing exceptionally well. Maybe I'm tripping. Is it his size? Because he is 6'9", 200 something. But he can't shoot for shit. I seen this nigga shoot. He can't shoot. He a cool slasher, but he's not elite. I don't think he a elite slasher. And he's a good defender. But besides that, I feel like this nigga be like, what's Coop analysis, bro? What y'all giving Coop, bro? I give Coop like a little like a John Collins. You feel me? Like I give Cooper Flagg John Collins.
And to ramp up. But being called generational isn't necessarily out of the norm for prospects of this caliber. However, what is out of the norm is the fact that this article was published on August 3rd, 2023, when Cooper was just 16 years old. At the time, 3 years away from being draft eligible.
I'm getting old, y'all.
Physical tools and NBA readiness already putting him in conversations with prospects like LeBron, AD, Zion, and Wemby before he even started his junior season in high school.
Now, Wemby is a demon, bro. Wemby gonna be a guy, bro.
Would never come. Because just a week after getting compared to the best prospects of the 21st century, Cooper broke headlines when he decided to jump up a year and reclassify from the class of 2025 to the class of 2024. The result of Flagg jumping up a class and bypassing an entire season of basketball, he not only instantly became the #1 player in the country against players 1 to 2 years older than him, overnight, he became the favorite to be selected first overall in the 2025 NBA draft. As a 16-year-old who had just finished his sophomore year of high school. The rankings were, of course, correct. Cooper was
my sophomore year, I was beating my meat every day playing Fortnite, bro. That's crazy. This level still like
just a few games into that season. Projections this
bullish and
this early are so rare that we've only seen them a handful of times. Back in 2001, when NBA scouts were already saying a 16-year-old LeBron was a surefire #1 pick, and more recently with Victor Wembanyama, who was projected to be the first overall pick 2 years before he was eligible for the draft. Outside of these two truly once-in-a-generation talents, even the most sought-after prospects do not face these expectations this early in their basketball career. But it was in the following season where Cooper would face his biggest test yet. Prove that he was good enough to still dominate games at the college level. But before he even stepped foot on a college court,
he did go crazy at Duke. I'll give him that.
No high schooler had ever done before him. How do we know if Cooper Flagg will be able to play at the next level and compete against the best players in the world? Well, because he already played them. Last summer, at just 17 years old, Flagg was chosen to be a part of the USA men's select team, a team that would scrimmage LeBron, Steph, KD, and the rest of the Olympic team. A team that hadn't featured a non-NBA player in over a decade and had never featured a high school kid. Now, the best one could hope for this kid going toe-to-toe against the NBA's best is for him to just fit in, soak in the moment.
That's crazy. He was frying his teammate.
Just not be a liability.
Cooper, oh my God. He's doing this at 17, y'all.
He actually stood out. In a straw poll survey conducted by The Athletic following the training camp, players on the Olympic team were asked who they thought the best player on the men's select team was.
That nigga's not 6'9", by the way. They lying about his height.
By unanimous decision was Cooper. A team loaded with some of the brightest young NBA talents, and it was the 17-year-old kid that played better than all of them. By the end of the summer, Cooper had already checked off every generational box. He received national acclaim. He was way ahead of schedule in his frame and development to the point where it just wasn't even fair. He went from dominating his class to dominating the country to playing and holding his own against the best players in the world. And of course, he had earned the generational label. The next challenge in front of him was college, which at that point wasn't really a challenge at all. As the second youngest player in the entire country, Cooper immediately became the best player in college basketball, putting up 19, 7, and 4 a game as statistically the best offensive player in the country.
I was fake kind of hating this nigga might be him. What the fuck? Hey, he's way better than what I thought he was.
And polished offensive game, drawing comparisons to Jason Tatum, Scottie Pippen, and Kawhi Leonard.
I can see Scottie Pippen
of the season as a 17-year-old.
Oh my God!
National Player of the Year. But to put into perspective just how incredible Cooper's freshman season at Duke was, here are the top 250 players in college basketball last season, represented by age on the x-axis and box plus minus on the y-axis. This chart represents the top 10% of all college basketball.
My nigga, I dropped out of college, bro. Stop
and it tells
giving
the
me these
story
graphs,
of what
bro.
NBA teams are looking for when assessing talent and who stands out amongst their peers. Up here are some of the best players in the country last season.
Up for an adventure?
Always.
the vast majority of them on the older end of college sports, 22, 23, even 24-year-olds. But the NBA isn't necessarily looking for the best prospects, they're looking for prospects with the most upside, young guys who have the highest ceiling. And this becomes clear if we highlight all 30 players selected in the first round of the 2025 NBA draft. All of these players had great seasons, but what really sets them apart from the other 2,400 collegiate...
Damn, that's crazy. Imagine you going crazy in college in the NBA, like, nah, nigga, you old as hell. You not. No, we don't want you. That's fucked up.
Players trying to get drafted is their youth. Look at the top picks in this year's draft, and all of them are much younger than their non-drafted counterparts. You could call this the draft zone. A recipe of being elite.
They better than a lot of the older people anyway.
Will greatly increase your odds of making it to the league. It's not just about being good. It's about being good early and having the potential to get a whole lot better. But if the best prospects in the country are here, where's Cooper Flagg? You guys are not gonna believe this. He's up here, all by himself. A kid that was supposed to still be in high school as by far the best player in the country with the most upside.
Damn, I didn't know that.
To say Cooper Flagg is a generational talent.
That's not crazy at all.
Despite all of the incredible things he's done over the last few years, and his absurd NBA readiness at a young age and just how much upside he possesses, Cooper is not the exception. When LeBron came into the league, we had never seen a prospect quite like him up to that point. When Victor Wembanyama was drafted, we've
never seen nobody like Victor, bro.
Player like him before. In fact, I didn't even know a player like him was in the realm of possibility.
Bro, he's dead as a 2K creative player, bro.
Even recently, like Cooper Flagg, that were just as talented, just about as young, with games just as NBA ready as Flagg's is. And even when we think we know the recipe for a surefire megastar, history has shown us that oftentimes
Zion's just lazy, bro. I don't fuck with that shit.
And generational talent. Since 2000, there have been 12 players who were given the label of generational, from LeBron and Greg Oden to Zion and Wemby. Now, for many of these names, similar to Cooper Flagg, their title as generational was accepted, but not by everyone. Like Greg Oden back in 2007, who truly did look like a once-in-a-generation big man coming out of college. Him getting selected over Kevin Durant is about all the evidence you need of that.
That's insane. That goes for why the Trailblazers are a shitty fucking organization.
With superstar potential who blew the doors off of college basketball for a season, but has
Zion was supposed to be a guy, bro.
Thanks to injuries. 12
proclaimed. No, cause this nigga like to eat. He can't stop eating. My nigga, that's that Louisiana food. But they need to send this nigga to fucking Indiana or something, bro, where all the white people be cooking and shit. Nigga gonna be eating boiled hot dogs. Hey, they need to have Zion eat a boiled hot dogs, but he need to get out of Louisiana.
Generational prospects in 26 years, or about one projected generational talent every other year, is a gross overestimation, not just of talent,
bro, Brian, who the
often this
he got braids. Hold on, my bad. I'm not locked into what Jimmy's saying. I'm looking at these niggas' pictures, bro. Okay, Andrew Wiggins had a strong-ass neck. Yo, and Brian, are these braids? I hope these braids, bro. I hope so. And even if they is braids, what was y'all doing in 03 gang?
Overestimation, not just of talent, but how often this kind of talent comes around. Among the true generational talents and the ones who had the potential to be one are the players who were thrown into a conversation they should have never been in. Dwight Howard
Who's the rookies in 24?
Are both incredible Hall of Famers, but still not quite generational. Andrew Wiggins and Ben Simmons looked the part, but fell short by about a mile. Believe it or not, even players like DeAndre Ayton and Cade Cunningham managed to earn the generational label leading up to the time they were drafted.
Cade Cunningham is
insane. 12 players, one of them truly lived up to the lofty label, and another one is currently proving he was worthy of the label. The general public predicted 12, and we got 2. No matter how many players we claim to be generational, turns out once in a generation truly means once in a generation. And with Wemby clearly being the guy of this era, we may not be due for another generational talent for quite some time. What are the odds Cooper lives up to the absolute upper end of the ceiling people have placed on him?
I doubt it, bro.
No one actually knows. If what a player did leading up to the time of them
and he got AD as a mentor,
they would become in the league, then Zion, Ben Simmons, and Andrew Wiggins would be the face of the NBA right now. The inverse of this is also true. If pre-draft projections were any indication of who a player would eventually become, Giannis, Jokic, and Kawhi would have been written off years ago. We may have an idea of what a player might become, but that's it, an idea. Truth is, some of these once proclaimed generational talents didn't fail to meet their potential. It's likely that they were just never the once-in-a-generation talent some claimed them to be. All things indicate that Cooper Flagg could be a truly transcendent player in the league. Of course,
gotta get bigger though.
Meant anything at all. Only time will tell what Cooper's true potential is and if he'll rise up.
He only 18 though. Okay. Jimmy High Roller. Hey, bro, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I'll catch y'all. W video, Jimmy.